Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Rave the Vote. I'm Micah, and I'm here to speak with the individuals behind the organization Give a Beat. Give a Beat's mission is to reduce the harmful effects of incarceration through music production, DJing, and education programs that transform individuals and inspire communities to take action. Lauren, if you could please kick things off by telling us about the origins of Give a Beat and what you're prioritizing now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. Give a Beat was founded on the values of the original dance music culture that was created largely in Black and gay communities. It was inherently political, radically inclusive, and socially conscious. When I got into the dance music scene in San Francisco, I immediately recognized the power of this community, and I believe the energy could and should be channeled to tackle injustice. I believe mass incarceration and the larger criminal justice system is the biggest problem we face in this country. It's a $1 trillion industry, racially driven, and has multi-generational, devastating effects, even internationally, since voter disenfranchisement clearly has global implications. Half of Americans have had a family member incarcerated, and millions of people with previous felony convictions are living with so many restrictions, and many cannot vote. I believe every community and industry needs to have some response to this injustice, and I think the dance music community is uniquely positioned to make an impact. Give a Beat has 4 programs that align with Brian Stevenson's key strategies on how to change the world. We create opportunities for proximities by teaching DJing to incarcerated youth and in after-school programs. We ask people to do uncomfortable things like visit our prison electronic music program in the California State Prisons, which is an incredible program. We change the narrative by being a voice for incarcerated people who people on the outside cannot hear. And we inspire hope through our unique re-entry mentoring program. Yesterday, we launched All Hands on the Deck to raise funds and awareness about the barriers people face after prison and to support our music-centered re-entry program. So please check out our website, check out allhandsonthedeck.com. And there's so many ways you can get involved. We'd love to hear from you. And most importantly for today, get out and get ready to vote. Thank you.
That's so amazing. Thank you, Lauren. It is very important because usually you don't usually hear mass incarceration associated with voting problems. And so I do think it's incredibly important to start to change the way we talk about that issue. Michael, as an advocate for criminal justice reform, could you please tell us a bit about your history and how you came to understand the power of policy reform and the importance of voter education?
Yeah, well, Micah, in 1996, I stood before a judge at the age of 15 being tried and convicted as an adult, going on to spend 17 years growing up in adult prisons with a life sentence.
Wow.
Until a law changed and policy saved my life. And laws change because of the people we vote into office to serve in our best interest, which is why we as voters have a very important responsibility and duty to do our homework, do our research, and look at websites like Your Secretary of State's or even Ballotpedia, where you can learn about ballots in your state, like Prop 17 in California. Which would restore the right to vote to over 50,000 Californians who have finished their prison term like I have, removing just one barrier out of thousands that people face after incarceration. So, for me, that's why it's important that we not only rave the vote, but we got to give a beat.
Mm-hmm. And we've touched on that before here at Rave the Vote, how important local elections really are. And your situation highlights that perfectly. Dee, as a music industry veteran and social justice activist, how would you communicate to our audience not only what dance music values look like on the ballot, but more broadly, how we can vote for racial justice and change?
Thank you, Micah. First and foremost, I would like to say our dance industry was built and created for diversity and inclusion way before it was a term. It brought us together to embrace each other no matter what you are and how you identify. The dance industry vote is absolutely paramount this November, and our lives literally depend on it. Our dance community gathers through music regardless of creed, race, or gender, and is one of the reasons why it has grown into a global industry. There are 2 resources I would suggest to check out. One is the Black Lives Resource Guide that I wrote for Electronic Music Alliance. It features Black activist literature such as books, films, and websites. And it's also a great resource to help understand and educate yourself on how the real enemy is not each other, but a white supremacist culture that has to be undone. Not through violence, but through our voices, activism, and our vote. We have to vote for government officials that are going to reinvest and give money back to the community, education, housing, and healthcare. Another important website resource for our industry is turnupthevote.net. Our values of peace, love, unity, and respect should be reinforced in our action words, and we have the responsibility to uphold civil liberties and protect persons against discrimination. This is what it looks like when our dance community votes and aligns with what this community was built on. And one of the ways that I personally have taken action is forming my own social justice organization called Mosaic Visions, as well as dedicating my music interviews to support women and Black, Indigenous people of color. So register to vote, get your mail-in ballot for those that choose to do so because of COVID precautions, and join us and your favorite artist and vote on November 3rd.